Hey folks, hope you're doing okay today. Phil Duke Jr. here with Living in Tuscaloosa County. Today, I'm going to be walking you through a foreclosure. This is a foreclosure that's in Tuscaloosa County, and I'm going to be walking you through this property. I'm going to be sharing with you some things that you may not know about buying foreclosed properties. Now, if you are considering buying a foreclosure, buying something you can fix up and make your own, maybe even to live in yourself or to flip it and make a profit, I send out a list every Monday morning of all of the Tuscaloosa County foreclosures. If you would like to sign yourself up to be on that email list, the link is down below in the comments where you can get that list every Monday morning at 6 a.m. I send that out. And if you have any questions at all, real estate related, I want to be your Tuscaloosa real estate guy. Now, I own a real estate company in Tuscaloosa. I'm a qualifying broker, so I have agents that work for me. But when you reach out to talk to me, when you reach out to want to work with me, you will be working with me directly, okay? My calendar link is down below as well. You can set up a time to hop on a video chat. I have a couple people who have done that I'll be talking to later today. I'm talking to people every day about Tuscaloosa real estate, people reaching out for advice. I want to be your Tuscaloosa real estate guy. So when you reach out to me, you'll be talking to me. If we get out and we look at houses like we're going to do today, I'll be the one out here showing you, okay? It's not going to be my assistant. It's not going to be one of my agents. It's going to be me and you from beginning to end. Let's go ahead and let's hop into this one today. All right, so this particular property is out in Duncanville, Alabama, which is on the outskirts of Tuscaloosa, just a few minutes outside of town. And like a lot of foreclosures, this one needs some work, okay? But not all of them do. You would be surprised how many foreclosures that I go into that are pretty close to move-in ready. So 3 big things to consider when you're looking at foreclosures. The first one is the condition of the property, okay? This one here has some kind of, maybe this was like a storage building that was added on permanently somehow, some way to this property. But the condition is a big deal because the condition of the property determines which kind of financing you might go with. So right here we've got 4 extension cords coming down right here, okay? Lot of issues I'm seeing so far. But the condition of the home might determine whether you can buy the property or not, okay? If you're going with a government-insured loan, an FHA loan, a VA loan, a USDA loan, they're going to do an appraisal of the property. They're going to do their own inspection of the property. That's not to be confused with a home inspection, but they're going to do an inspection to make sure that the property meets FHA, VA, or USDA guidelines, okay? And there are things I'm already seeing here in this property that would rule this one out, okay? So you can't have you can't have busted doors that are off the hinges, okay? You can't have electrical issues that could potentially start a fire, okay? The house doesn't have to be in perfect condition, okay? It doesn't have to have stainless appliances and it doesn't have to have granite countertops, but it can't be a fixer-upper to qualify for those loan programs. So most people, all right, on this kind of house, all right, carpet's pretty rough, a lot of holes in the walls. We've got, not really sure, I guess this is a laundry room here with a lot of potential electrical issues. They're not going to, the government is not going to give you a loan on a property that they consider a fixer-upper. Now, this could be a really nice house with some money put into it, right? But the way that it sits right now, there's just a lot of issues with this property. So the condition of the property, all right, if you're looking for a foreclosure and you're thinking, man, I'll get a good deal on a foreclosure and I'll put some money into it. You might be able to, but you need to have that conversation with your mortgage company to see if you can qualify to buy a foreclosure. This one is missing a stove. That's a no-go for most government loan programs. Got to have a stove in place. And unfortunately, on these foreclosures, the banks that own these, even though a stove might be $300, $400, $500, they're not going to pay to get a stove put in there to help you qualify for the property. And you can't put one in yourself. All right, so if you're going to buy a fixer-upper foreclosure like this, you're going to have to more than likely go with a conventional loan. All right, those are a lot looser when it comes to what they'll pass and what they'll allow to get pushed through, or you're going to have to pay cash, okay? Got a big window right there. So if you've ever seen properties advertised where it says cash or conventional only, that is why. It's not that we don't want FHA buyers. It's not that we don't want VA buyers, okay, veterans who have qualified for a VA mortgage. It's not that we don't want those, it's that sometimes when we list, this is not my listing, but when we list properties, when I've listed properties in the past, you go into it knowing this one's not going to pass, okay? And this one here today would not pass, okay? This is the living room. It's really dark, and that brings me to number two. Okay, number one is the condition. Number two is the inspection. Alabama is a buyer beware state. The seller does not have to tell you what they know to be wrong with the property. All right? So in some states, the seller fills out, here's when I had this work done on the house, and here's my receipt from the roof. In Alabama, the sellers don't have to do that, so most of them don't. So for you to determine what kind of condition a property is in, you're more than likely going to pay a licensed professional home inspector. Okay, Alabama's a buyer beware state. It's up to you as the buyer to determine what's wrong with the property. So on a foreclosure property like this, the power is off. So when it comes to getting your inspections done, on top of you paying, that's a bedroom back there. This is really dark in here. I can't even really see it. A bathroom in there. Can't even see it. It's literally so dark. It's not even picking up on camera. When it comes to getting a foreclosed property inspected, not only are you going to have to pay, $400 or $500 for the home inspection, but you also are going to have to pay a couple $100 to get the power and water and gas turned on to the property as well, okay? And another thing, normally when you are buying a home that's owned by an individual, you get a home inspection done, and then you can ask them to fix things. This one comes with a punching bag. That's a pretty big deal. On a normal home inspection, you pay, let's say you pay $500 for a home inspection, and the home inspector finds all these things wrong. You can go to the owner of the property and say, before I move forward with this, I need this, this, and this fixed. On a foreclosed property, that is not going to be the case, okay? You can get the home inspection done, all right? And this sits out on a pretty good piece of land here. I'm going to walk around the outside too. On a foreclosed property, you can get it inspected, but it's going to be as is with a right of inspection, which means you can get it inspected. You can pay to get it inspected, and I think you should. I think you'd be crazy not to, but you're not going to be able to go back to them and say, hey, bank, we found this, 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 and this that was wrong. It needs a new air conditioner. It needs a stove. We need you to fix those things. You've got to go into this knowing, okay, we got busted out windows right here. That would definitely disqualify this house from government financing. You've got to go into this knowing that this home inspection is going to find some things wrong, and you're not going to be able to ask them to fix them. That doesn't mean you can't buy it, right? If you can get qualified to buy it, or you can pay cash for it, you can do it. But you're not going to be able to go into this one like many of my clients do, where we spend, $400 or $500 on home inspections, and you end up getting $1,000 worth of repairs, $2,000 worth of repairs, $10,000 worth of repairs. I've had buyers before that got home inspections, and those home inspections revealed that the air conditioner was toast, which this one looks really old. They revealed that thing was toast. We spent $400 or $500 on a home inspection. We asked we said, hey, we're not moving forward if we can't get this air conditioner fixed. And then before closing, the owner of the property puts in a new air conditioner system. That might be $6,000, $8,000, $10,000. You're not gonna have that option when you're buying a foreclosure, okay? You can get it inspected, and they might tell you it's toast. They might tell you it needs to be replaced. Can't really see the roof from this side. I'm gonna go around to the other side. But you're not gonna be able to negotiate repairs on a foreclosure, okay? So you can inspect it. You're gonna have some extra cost on top of the home inspection because you're gonna have to pay to get the power and the water and the gas turned on, but you're not gonna be able to negotiate that. You're not going to be able to ask them to come down on the price because of what you found. You're dealing with a corporation. You're dealing with a for-profit business. And you can get out of the contract within a certain number of days, but you're not going to be able to negotiate repairs with them, okay? And so number one is the condition. Number two is the inspection. It's going to be different on a foreclosed property. And then thirdly, I think the third thing you really need to know about buying a foreclosure is during that home inspection period. All right, we see more electrical issues here. During that inspection period is when you're going to verify your numbers, okay? And if you are a first-time buyer or you're going to be buying this to live in it, your numbers need to be really, really tight, right? I've got a budget analyzer that I've flipped in this last 12 months. I've flipped like 16 homes myself, personally flipped, and I've got pretty good estimates. I've got a spreadsheet I can give to you that will help you estimate, electrical, roofing, HVAC, paint, flooring, appliances, cabinets, all that kind of stuff. But you need to go into buying any property that you're going to renovate. I would go into it expecting new things to pop up that you didn't see, right? We can only inspect what we can see. There's things behind these walls. There's things up in the ceiling. There's things underneath here that you're not going to see until you start tearing these things out. So I would not consider a foreclosure if it's a property that you're going to live in yourself, unless you've got $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 sitting in the bank that you could use, that you could tap into if you find some new things that you weren't expecting, okay? Like I said, I flipped 16 houses so far this year. I made money on 15 of them. I lost money on one. The one that I lost money on was a total home renovation. And when you start tearing things out and you start doing big renovation projects, you're going to find things that you weren't expecting. And it's going to be 400 here, 1,000 here, 2,000 here. Next thing you know, you're $40,000, $50,000 over budget. So, in closing, okay, as I walk back out here to the front, a couple things to remember about foreclosures. Number one, the condition, right, might dictate whether you can even buy it or not. You need to make sure that the loan product you're approved for will allow you to buy a fixer-upper like this, okay? Most won't. If that's something you're wanting to look at, you just need to have that conversation, and I can help you with that. Number two, the inspections, okay? You're going to be able to do an inspection on this. That's interesting right there. You're going to be able to do an inspection on this, but you're not going to be able to negotiate repairs on this. It's like, okay, yeah, you found out something was wrong. Okay, do you want to stay in it or not? Do you want to buy it or not? You're not going to be able to go back to them and negotiate. And number three, you better make sure your numbers are on point, okay? If you got any questions, feel free to reach out below. Would love to hear your comments on whether you would consider a foreclosure. And remember, Every Monday morning, I send out a list of all the Tuscaloosa County foreclosures. Make sure to check that link below so that you can sign yourself up for that list if this is something that you're interested in. And as always, feel free to reach out. Would love to help you up one-on-one. I'd love to be your Tuscaloosa real estate guy. Y'all have a great day.